Petro Oleksiyovych Poroshenko is the fifth and current president of Ukraine, in office since 2014. He served as the Minister of Foreign Affairs from 2009 to 2010, and as the Minister of Trade and Economic Development in 2012. From 2007 until 2012, Poroshenko headed the Council of Ukraine's National Bank.Outside government. Poroshenko has been a prominent oligarch with a lucrative career in acquiring and building assets. His most recognized ownerships are Roshan, the large-scale confectionery company which has earned him the nickname of Chocolate King, and a TV Channel 5 canal, an all-news national TV broadcaster. Due to the scale of his business holdings in manufacturing, agriculture and financial industry, his political influence that included several stints at government prior to his presidency, and ownership of an influential mass media outlet, Poroshenko has long been considered one of the prominent Ukrainian oligarchs, even though not the most influential among them. He was elected president on the 25th of May 2014, capturing more than 54% of the vote in the first round, thereby winning outright and avoiding a runoff. Early life and education. Poroshenko was born in the city of Belgrade, in Odessa Oblast, on the 26th of September 1965. He also spent his childhood and youth in Benderi, where his father Oleksiy was heading a machine-building plant. In his youth, Poroshenko practiced judo and sambo, and was candidate for Master of Sport of the USSR. Despite good grades, he was not awarded the normal gold medal at graduation, and on his report card he was given SC for his behavior. After getting into a fight with 4 Soviet Army cadets at the military commissariat, he was sent to army service in the distant Kazakh SSR. In 1989, Poroshenko graduated, having started studying in 1982, with a degree in economics from the International Relations and Law Department at the Kiev State University. At this university he was friends with Mikhail Saakashvili, who he in May 2015 would appoint as governor of Odessa Oblast and who is a former president of Georgia. In 1984, Poroshenko married a medical student, Marina Perevodnzyeva. The first son, Oleksiy, was born in 1985. From 1989 to 1992, Poroshenko was an assistant at the university's International Economic Relations Department. While still a student, he founded a legal advisory firm mediating the negotiation of contracts in foreign trade, and then he undertook the negotiations himself, starting to supply cocoa beans to the Soviet chocolate industry in 1991. At the same time, he was deputy director of the Republic Union of Small Businesses and Entrepreneurs, and the CEO, Exchange House Ukraine. Poroshenko's brother, Mikhailo, older by 8 years, died in a 1997 car accident under mysterious circumstances. Business career. In 1993, Poroshenko, together with his father Oleksiy and colleagues from the Road Traffic Institute in Kiev, created the Ukrominvest Ukrainian Industry and Investment Company, which specialized in confectionery and the automotive industry. Poroshenko was Director General of the company from its founding until 1998, when in connection with his entry into Parliament he handed the title over to his father, while retaining the title of Honorary President. Between 1996 and 1998, Ukrominvest acquired control over several state-owned confectionery enterprises which were combined into the Roshan Group in 1996, creating the largest confectionery manufacturing operation in Ukraine. His business success in the confectionery industry earned him the nickname Chocolate King. Poroshenko's business empire also includes several car and bus plants, Leninska Kuznia shipyard, the 5-canal television channel, as well as other businesses in Ukraine. Although not the most prominent in the list of his business holdings, the assets that drew much recent media attention, and often controversy, are the confectionery factory in Lipetsk, Russia, that became controversial due to the Russian military intervention in Ukraine, the Sevastopol marine plant that has been confiscated after the 2014 Russian forcible annexation of Crimea, and the media outlet 5 Canal, particularly because of Poroshenko's repeated refusal to sell an influential media asset following his accession to presidency. Billionaires lists rankings. In March 2012, Forbes placed him on the Forbes list of billionaires at 1,153rd place, with $1 billion. As of May 2015, Poroshenko's net worth was about $720 million, losing 25% profit ever since Russia's ban of Russian products and the state of the Ukrainian economy, according to the annual ranking of the richest people in Ukraine published by the Ukrainian journal Novoye Vremya and conducted jointly with Dragon Capital, a leading investment company in Ukraine, published in October 2015. President Poroshenko was found the only one from the top 10 of the list whose asset value grew since the previous ranking. The estimate of his assets was set at $979 million, a 20% growth, and his ranking changed from 9th to 6th wealthiest person in Ukraine. The article noted that Poroshenko remained one of the only 2 European leaders who owned a business empire of such scale, with Silvio Berlusconi being the other one. Associated businesses. A number of businesses were once part of the Ukrominvest, which Poroshenko headed in 1993 to 1998. The investment group was dissolved in April 2012. Poroshenko has stated that upon beginning his political activity he passed on his holdings to a trust fund. Bogdan Group, Russian Group, 5 Canal television channel, Leninska Kuznia shipyard. Early political career. Poroshenko first won a seat in the Verkhovna Rada in 1998 for the 12th single-mandate constituency. He was initially a member of the United Social Democratic Party of Ukraine, the party loyal to President Leonid Kuchma at the time. Poroshenko left SDPU in 2000 to create an independent left-of-center faction, naming it Solidarity. In 2001, Poroshenko was instrumental in creating the Party of Regions, also loyal to Kuchma, but Solidarity never completed the merger. Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council. In December 2001, Poroshenko broke ranks with Kuchma supporters to become campaign chief of Viktor Yushchenko's Our Ukraine bloc opposition faction, after parliamentary elections in March 2002, in which Our Ukraine won the biggest share of the popular vote and Poroshenko won a seat in parliament. Poroshenko served as head of the Parliamentary Budget Committee, where he was accused of misplacing 47 million hryvnias. As a consequence of Poroshenko's Our Ukraine bloc membership, tax inspectors launched an attack on his business. Despite great difficulties, Ukrominvest managed to survive until Yushchenko became president of Ukraine in 2005. Poroshenko was considered a close confidant of Yushchenko, who is godfather to Poroshenko's daughters. Poroshenko was likely to have been the wealthiest oligarch among Yushchenko supporters, and was often named as one of the main financial backers of Our Ukraine and the Orange Revolution. After Yushchenko won the presidential elections in 2004, Poroshenko was appointed Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council. In September 2005, Highly publicized mutual allegations of corruption erupted between Poroshenko and Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko involving the privatizations of state-owned firms. Poroshenko, for example, was accused of defending the interests of Viktor Pinchuk, who had acquired state firm Nikopol Ferroalloy for $80 million, independently valued at $1 billion. In response to the allegations, Yushchenko dismissed his entire cabinet of ministers, including Poroshenko and Tymoshenko. State prosecutors dismissed an abuse of power investigation against Poroshenko the following month, immediately after Yushchenko dismissed Sviatoslav Piskun, general prosecutor of Ukraine. Piskun claimed that he was sacked because he refused to institute criminal proceedings against Tymoshenko and refused to drop proceedings against Poroshenko. In the March 2006 parliamentary election, Poroshenko was re-elected to the Ukrainian parliament with the support of Our Ukraine electoral bloc. He chaired the Parliamentary Committee on Finance and Banking. Allegedly, since Poroshenko claimed the post of chairman of the Ukrainian parliament for himself, the Socialist Party of Ukraine chose to be part of the Alliance of National Unity because it was promised that the party leader, Oleksandr Moroz, would be elected chairman if the coalition were formed. This left Poroshenko's Our Ukraine and their ally Yulia Tymoshenko bloc out of the government. Poroshenko did not run in the September 2007 parliamentary election. Poroshenko started heading the Council of Ukraine's National Bank in February 2007. Between 1999 and 2012 he was a board member of the National Bank of Ukraine, Foreign Minister and Minister of Trade. Ukrainian President Yushchenko nominated Poroshenko for Foreign Minister on 7 October 2009. Poroshenko was appointed by the Verkhovna Rada on 9 October 2009. On 12 October 2009, President Yushchenko re-appointed Poroshenko to the National Security and Defense Council. Poroshenko supported Ukrainian NATO membership. However, he also stated NATO membership should not be a goal in itself. Although Poroshenko was dismissed as foreign minister on the 11th of March 2010, President Viktor Yanukovych expressed hope for further cooperation with him. In late February 2012, Poroshenko was named as the new Minister of Trade and Economic Development in the Azarov government. On the 9th of March 2012, President Yanukovych stated he wanted Poroshenko to work in the government in the post of Economic Development and Trade Minister. On the 23rd of March 2012, Poroshenko was appointed Economic Development and Trade Minister of Ukraine by Yanukovych. The same month he stepped down as head of the Council of Ukraine's National Bank. Poroshenko claims that he became Minister of Trade and Economic Development in order to help bring Ukraine closer to the EU and get Yulia Tymoshenko released from prison. After he took the post, tax inspectors launched an attack on his business. Return to Parliament. Poroshenko returned to the Verkhovna Rada after the 2012 Ukrainian parliamentary election after winning as an independent candidate in single-member District No. 12 located in Vinnytsia Oblast. He did not enter any faction in parliament and became member of the Committee on European Integration. Poroshenko's father Oleksiyovych did intend to take part in the elections too in single-member District No. 16, but withdrew his candidacy for health reasons. In mid-February 2013, Poroshenko hinted he would run for mayor of Kiev in the 2013 Kiev mayoral election. 2014 Ukrainian Revolution. During the Euromaidan protests between November 2013 and February 2014, Poroshenko actively supported the protests, including with financial support. This led to an upsurge of his popularity. He did not participate in negotiations between then-President Yanukovych and the Euromaidan parliamentary opposition parties Bakish China, Svoboda and UDAR. Poroshenko refused to join the Yatsenyuk government, and nor did he join any of the two newly created parliamentary factions Economic Development and Sovereign European Ukraine. During the 2014 Crimean crisis, Poroshenko visited Simferopol in Crimea prior to its annexation by Russia. "We have to find a compromise," Poroshenko told a crowd gathered in front of the Crimean parliament, but his appeal was drowned by shouts of "Russia, Russia." In an interview with Lally Weymouth, Poroshenko said, "From the beginning, I was one of the organizers of the Maidan. My television channel, Channel 5, played a tremendously important role. At the time, Channel 5 started to broadcast. There were just 2,000 people on the Maidan, but during the night, people went by foot 7, 8, 9, 10 kilometers, understanding this is a fight for Ukrainian freedom and democracy. In 4 hours, almost 30,000 people were there." The BBC reported, Mr. Poroshenko owns 5-Canal TV, the most popular news channel in Ukraine, which showed clear pro-opposition sympathies during the months of political crisis in Kiev. 2014 presidential campaign following the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution and the resulting removal of Viktor Yanukovych from the office of President of Ukraine. New presidential elections were scheduled to take place on the 25th of May 2014. In pre-election polls from March 2014, Poroshenko garnered the most support of all the prospective candidates, with one poll conducted by SOCIS giving him a rating of over 40%. On the 29th of March he stated that he would run for president. At the same time, Vitaly Klitschko left the presidential contest, choosing to support Poroshenko's bid. On the 2nd of April, Poroshenko stated, "If I am elected, I will be honest and sell the Russian concern." Quote. He also said in early April that the level of popular support for the idea of Ukraine's joining NATO was too small to put on the agenda, so as not to ruin the country. He also vowed not to sell his 5-Canal television channel. On the 14th of April, Poroshenko publicly endorsed the campaign of Jaroslaw Gowin's party Poland Together of neighboring Poland in this year's elections to the European Parliament, thanking Gowin's party colleague Paweł Kowal for supporting Ukraine. Poroshenko's election slogan was, "Live in a New Way." Poroshenko, quote, On the 29th of May, the Central Election Commission of Ukraine announced that Poroshenko had won the 25th of May presidential election, with 54.7% of the votes. During his visit in Berlin, Poroshenko stated that separatists don't represent anybody. "We have to restore law and order and sweep the terrorists off the street." He described as fake a planned the 11th of May Donbass status referendums.